Hey, reach up there and pull those belts tight. One more time, you're watching the original Rebels Racing League.
And welcome everybody to Daytona International Speedway. My name's Josh Hall. We're here with the original Rebels Racing League Outlaw Series, fueled by. I apologize, my button didn't work the way I wanted to. Let me pull up our logos here. We got about a minute and a half left in practice here. And this is the Hardline Transport Solutions Outlaw Truck Series. And we're looking for some great racing here in the opening night here in the original Rebels Outlaw series. This series is in memory of Matthew Mann. I do apologize for a second. I'm having a little technical difficulties on my end, but we're getting them all squared away. So we see we've got about a minute left here in practice, and we're here at Daytona, one of my favorite races to watch, one of my favorite places to come to, whether it's in iRacing or watching a race in real life. The speeds here, the draft, these trucks have a little bit of an update since the last time these drivers were out. And they do have a little bit more draft, a little bit more drag. And we'll see these guys really working that draft a little bit differently. The air really moves the trucks around, and we'll see that. As at the top of the board right now, Charlie Gates Jr. is at the top of the board. Although here really doesn't mean as much here, as qualifying really doesn't have much bearing either, as it's all about who can be there at the end, avoid the attrition, and get there. So we got about 3 seconds left in practice. We're going to get right into qualifying. Again, thank you for joining us here on Intensity Broadcasting. Sorry for a little bit of a later start, but we're here getting ready to rock in the original Rebels Outlaw series. As it looks like have some trucks getting ready to roll out into qualifying. Check, check. And we're first truck out on track is the 14 of Fry Hubbard, just sitting there at the end of pit lane. Adam Lang as well. So it looks like we got trucks getting ready to qualify, but nobody's actually rolling. Here we go. First one to roll is Jonah Colbert. Jonah from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Both the original Rebels ARCA and Goat Locker Truck Series champions. To see where he rolls out. He's always a fan favorite here in the Rebel Series. A lot of familiar names from last season. Our rating champion, Andy Kurtz, will be in the race. Hasn't hit the track yet for qualifying, but he is out there getting ready to run tonight. So here comes Colbert coming through the short chute to the tri-oval to start his first of 2 laps here at Daytona. And Jonah keeping it down on the bottom on his opening lap. We've seen that in the trucks the last couple of races that I've announced, where the trucks tend to be quicker on their first lap. So they try to get their money lap on that first lap instead of getting it wound up at the top. As he's going to come across the line here. Oh. Apologize for my computer screen freaking out there for a second. Oh. I do apologize, folks. Little technical difficulties on my side, but we got them all worked out. So we see Jonah Colbert currently at the top of the leaderboard. He's working his way off of turn number 4. Again, through that short chute, coming to that start-finish line. Across the line down in the apron, trying to cut the track, get as much speed out of as he can. He's going to improve on his time. Ran a 52.35 his first lap, just ran a 34, but Eric Burkhalter just ran a 34 to take over the top spot. Eric Burkhalter from Star, Mississippi. Currently up to the top of the board, and see if he's able to hold on to that. We got a lot of fast trucks out there. Steve Loving, who we know is a super speedway connoisseur, out on track and his qualifying run underway. As Burkhalter comes through turns 3 and 4. We'll see if he can improve on his time through the short chute. And across the line, and Burkhalter is not going to improve his time. Oh, he does improve his time. Moves up with a 50-30. Daniel Stewart, 50-32, currently in second. We see Steve Loving just coming across the line to start his qualifying attempt. And Steve Loving, a little different paint job than we're used to seeing on that truck. We're used to seeing those Miller colors. We've got the Coca-Cola colors on this truck this season. As he makes his way down the backstretch, right on that yellow line. And he's trying to put that Coke Zero machine on the pole. He works his way off of turn number 4. And across the line, we'll see what he does here on his first lap. And that's going to move him up into the 9th position. So he's able to improve on this on the second lap. Also out on track right now, Greg Froelich, Eddie Smith, Jamie Mullins, Adam Lang. Adam Lang just jumps up to 3rd with a 52-32. Burkhalter, your current pole sitter, with a 50-30. And Steve Loving rockets down into turns 3 and 4, holding that truck right down on the yellow line as Matt Kleeman jumps up to the top of the board with a 52-25 blazing lap. 5/100ths faster than Burkhalter. See if Loving can do anything here as he comes across the line. And Loving is going to not improve his time. He's going to be currently in the 11th position. See Eddie Smith out on track. Eddie Smith comes across the line for his first lap. And Eddie's going to jump up to 2nd with a 52-30. Well, let's see if Eddie can improve on his time. And Daytona is a very unique track, as we were talking earlier. Super speedway for those who don't follow too much racing or haven't seen a race here before, or those who do, and you're kind of checking out what's going to be happening in the second race. The trucks have had a little bit of an overhaul. The tire model has changed a little bit. The drag is reduced or increased along with the drafting. And the big thing is these trucks move around a lot more in the draft than they did in previous generations. So we're going to see that tonight. Just watching the air move these trucks down as they're in line down the straightaways. We saw a lot on Tuesday night in both the Doghouse Racing and the SCSRA where these trucks were actually bouncing off each other on the straightaways as Eddie Smith is not able to improve on his time, and he's going to be in the 2nd position with a 52-30 as the fastest. See Michael Swink in the red oak machine. The Winston-Salem native makes his way through turns 3 and 4. And this is going to complete his first lap. See, we have just about 2 minutes left in qualifying. So if you're going to make a qualifying lap, you'd have to leave by now because these laps are about a minute long. So you'd be able to get one out as Michael Swink moves up into the 11th position. A little high through turns 1 and 2 here, so they'll lose a little bit of speed coming off a turn at number 2. Runs that higher line like I like to run here down the backstretch to kind of arc into turns 3 and 4 and try to keep as much speed as you can as he makes his way through the corner. Again, not right there on that yellow line, so we'll see where Mike ends up here as he comes down the short street chute to the start-finish line. And he improves on his time just a little bit, a 52.41. Does not improve his placement, though, as we see Brandon Pollock, one of the last trucks out on track. Comes across the line for his first lap, and he's going to move up into the 17th position with a 53.06. So he makes his way through turns 1 and 2. We got a message here in the chat says Tyler Barnett is going to win this race. That's from Moneth99 on YouTube. So again, we got the YouTube, we've got the Twitch, we've got the Facebook, we've got the chat up. So if you're watching on any of those platforms, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe. Let us know who you think is going to win the race here tonight. Tell us who your favorite drivers are, or just want to chat with me. Feel free, message me right there in the chat. As Brandon Pollock comes down the short chute and to the start-finish line. And he is going to improve his spot up into the 14th position as qualifying has now ended. That's going to bring up our starting lineup, and your starting grid is brought to you by BK Motorsports, and of course the Chuck Pegleg Felt Pull Award. And that Pegleg Felt Pull Award is going to go to the 19 of Matt Kleeman. Eddie Smith in the 87 will be rolling off in second. Eric Burkhalter and Daniel Stewart, they'll be rolling off in row number 2 with Adam Lang and Fry Hubbard making up row 3. Starting 7th, the 34 of Jonah Colbert and Ryan Derrick in the 8th position. 9th place will have Aaron Mack and Jamie Mullins rounds out your top 10. Michael Swink rolls off 11th with Mike Morkrid in the 46th in 12. 13 is going to be the 70 of Todd Schott with Brandon Pollock rolling off in 14th. Then Steve Loving way back in 15th, and Jake Ellingson back in the 16th position. Charlie Gates Jr., he'll be rolling off 17th, and Greg Froelich in that 18th position. 19th, we've got Jonathan Cofield and Logan Moneth in the 91 in 20th. 21st will be Michael Kosick with Steve McDonald back in the 22nd position. 23rd will be Tyler Barnett and Andy Kurtz, last season's champion, rolling off in 24th. As the field's making their way out onto the field. 25th is going to be Brett Bieber with Kenneth Pack back in 26th. 27th, Travis Bieber and Justin Miller in 28th. Greg Barnett 29th, and Ryan Huff will be rolling off from the 30th position. 31st, John Smeal. 32nd, Phil Hitman Manzo. Matt Knight's 33rd, Mike Barossa Jr. in 34th, and that's going to round out our grid here at Daytona International Speedway as we get ready for 60 laps here At Daytona, Jonathan Schmiel says, I just want to survive. And Laura Cofield says, good luck, Jonathan Cofield. As we take a look at the 5 of Andy Kurtz, again, last year's champion, starting way back in the field. But Matt Kleeman's going to lead him down to the starting zone. With Eddie Smith to the outside. Can Eric Burkhalter or Daniel Stewart help out one of these front row drivers to get him a good start here? As we're getting ready to go green flag racing to kick off the outlaw season here at Daytona. Pace truck takes that hard left-hand turn on the pit road. Green flag is in the air. We are racing here at Daytona. And a great jump as Eddie Smith jumps in behind Matt Kleeman trying to get that position. And already people jockeying for position right up at the front. But Kleeman gets away clean as they work their way through turns 1 and 2. And as we work down the backstretch for the first time, pretty clean so far, but we see those trucks already starting to weave and wobble down the front stretch as Daniel Stewart jumps up to the lead. He's going to pull down in front of Matt Kleeman. Big push there from the 14 of Fry Hubbard to get Stewart out to the lead, and as they come off of turn number 4, Daniel Stewart's going to come to the line, but here comes Kleeman back up to the outside, trying to get that big push from Fry Hubbard. Who's going to lead the first lap of the season? It's going to be Kleeman by just a nose as they come across the line. Fry Hubbard pushes Kleeman back in front of Stewart. Now that bottom line starting to get a little more momentum off the corner. Now that bottom lane really forming up, and that's where the energy's coming from. Here comes Fry Hubbard, though, up on the high side. Big push from the 88 of Ryan Derrick, getting side by side for the lead. Oh, a little out of shape goes the 88 of Ryan Derrick. As we saw, these trucks do move around a whole lot more than they did last season. And we're going to see how that comes into play here as that bottom lane starting to get a little more formed up there. And Matt Kleeman continues to lead here at Daytona. Some big movers already through the field. John Schmiel, who said in the chat he just wanted to survive. He's up 15 spots already, up into the 16th position. It looks like he's going to continue to move forward here in the middle of that field as the trucks rocket down the backstretch. That 09 of Daniel Stewart giving a great push to Matt Kleeman to keep him out in front. As we mentioned, John Schmiel here in the 50 machine. Already up 14 spots. Now he's moving up to the high side, seeing if he can continue to move forward in those mellow yellow colors. Trying to look up to the high side. Falls back a little bit, trying to find some help. So we'll see if he continues to move up. Up front, though, Fry Hubbard is taking the lead, getting a big push from the 88 of Ryan Derrick, they both get clear, come down in front of Kleeman. So move Fry and Hubbard and Ryan Derrick up to the lead. But here comes the 66 of Jamie Mullins up on that high side with a great push from Brendan Pollock. And right behind him, that's the 55 of Charlie Gates Jr., who we know knows how to get around this track as well. See lots of flames flying out from the exhaust of these trucks as they have to lift, keep from running in the back of each other. You can push the truck in front of you, but if that truck's pushed or locked bumpers with another truck, you don't want to get into them because that can cause both trucks to get really out of shape, and that's where you start to see some issues from pushing the pusher as here comes Mullins down to the bottom as Pollock's going to stay up to the high side and try to get that push here from the 55 of Charles Gates Jr. And Charlie up there giving a good push, doing what he can up there right behind him. We see I believe that's the 8 of Adam Lang up there also trying to come forward. That is the 8 of Adam Lang, trying to move himself forward as well. And look at that, John Schmiel up into the 11th position, our biggest mover so far, trying to crack that top 10. So we'll have to see where John ends up here tonight, as we still have a lot of racing to go, as we are just working lap 6 of 60. But Schmiel making some big moves, some aggressive moves to get himself up here towards the front. And you see he's already got himself up here. A couple other drivers up here. Matt Kleeman was your pole sitter. He's fallen back a little bit, but look at the 15 of Greg Froelich up on the high side, running fourth in the high side here. Greg loves these super speedways, and he's showing why right now. He's got Steve Loving right behind him as well, Loving up 5 positions. So they're trying to move themselves up to the front as the race goes on. While up front, Jamie Mullins continues to lead. As we ride along with Adam Lang, and you can see exactly what he sees out the back. Here comes Kleeman with a little bit of a run. That bottom lane starting to get a little bit of energy, and you're starting to see that now, as he's in the middle of this traffic jam with just nowheres to go. Up front, though, Fry Hubbard trying to get that lead back. I'm sorry, Fry Hubbard giving the big push now to Jamie Mullins. It's Brandon Pollock on the high side trying to make something happen. But right now, that top lane is losing all its energy. And when I say energy, when these trucks get lined up the way they do, they really start to push a big hole in the air, and they can move forward. The more trucks that are lined up well, the better that line's going to move forward. When you have a bunch of trucks like up on top right now behind Brandon Pollock, you can see that line actually falling backwards because they're just not lined up as well as the trucks on the bottom. But now that big push from Charlie Gates is coming. Now the energy goes back up to the high side. And as they make their way down the little short chute into turns 1 and 2, great look at just how much these trucks do move around here, as Charlie Gates tries to get back to the back bumper of Brandon Pollock to try to get that run down the backstretch. And they got a little bit of a run, but just not enough trucks really in line to make something happen. And you can see just how many more trucks are in that bottom line trying to stay out of trouble. You know, you look back here at guys like Matt Knights. Matt way back in the back here, but he's playing it smart right now. He sees what's going on up front. You know, these trucks can get out of shape, and he wants to put himself in a position where he could be there at the end. So you see a couple drivers like Andy Kurtz, last season's champion, sitting here at the back. He's given up quite a few spots to be back here, but he's doing it to keep himself out of trouble, and I think it might be a smart move, as we're only working lap 10 of 60. And as we talk about the pressure heating up, Brandon Pollock has gotten to the outside of Jamie Mullins as they work down the backstretch, getting that big push from Charlie Gates. As they work through turns 3 and 4, trying to make something happen on that high side, just nowheres to go at the moment. A little bit of a side draft could help, but it's too early to really be pushing or side draft. And as we've seen these trucks move around a whole lot, these guys are still kind of get a feel for each other. They haven't really ran in a full pack like this yet. So being able to feel out what these trucks are going to do in the pack, so that they have an idea what kind of moves they can make later on in the run. See Eddie Smith. Eddie Smith way back in the 16th position. Falling back, Eric Burkhalter also right behind him. A couple of drivers that were up front early now finding themselves in the middle of the pack. And not always the best feeling being in the middle of the pack like that, as it puts you in a position where something was to happen in front of you, you may not be able to react to it in time. check out our chat real quick. Mom Ellingson, hopefully a nice clean race tonight. So far, we've seen that. Tyler DeTalent says, let's go Ryan Huff at Evil Empire Motorsports. And CST Evans 84 says, awesome racing so far as we see one truck. Looks like Ryan Huff here falling down onto the apron. Didn't really like what he saw, so, almost loses it coming back on the apron, trying to get back in line. Man saw something he didn't like. He backed out on the apron down the backstretch, and now we see a little bit of a gap here. We see the 39 of Kenneth Pack leading this group, and right now these guys are in a position that they don't want to be in. They don't want to lose the draft, and that's what they've done. These guys want to get in line as quickly as they can to try to run back down that pack in front of them as they're running side by side here. They're going to be running much slower than the rest of the pack, so they're going to do what they can to get back in line as we see Kenneth Pack getting a little push here from the 38 of Greg Barnett as they work their way down the backstretch. Up front, though, Jamie Mullins continues the lead, and it looks like my iRacing just crashed. And I do apologize, and we're going to have to get this fixed here, and I do apologize for that. We'll be right back with you. And just like that, we're back here at Daytona. I do apologize for that little hiccup there. But we're back as Brandon Pollock continues the lead here with Jamie Mullins on his back bumper. And it looks like something's going on with the iRacing server because I do apologize. Let me see if we can get this right back going. And again, I do apologize for the technical mishaps. And just like that, we're back again. I do believe having a little issue with my timing and scoring, and that's why. Yeah, we will definitely have to swing back out of here. We will be back in just a moment. Hang around. We aren't going anywheres. And we are back here at Daytona. Again, I do apologize for the interruption. Doesn't look like much has changed up at the front as Jamie Mullins continues to lead. They're going around the lap car right now. If I do believe that is the 68 of Steve McDonald. So one truck that lost the draft and is falling back to the back. But right now, up at the front, Jamie Mullins continues to lead with Fry Hubbard. Here comes the 88 of Ryan Derrick up on the outside. He's trying to get something going with Brandon Pollock up there as well. They make their way through the corners, and again, doesn't look like too much has happened while we were away. Again, I do apologize for that brief interruption. As we see the cars, those white trucks there, getting their paint job slapped back on them. As Jamie Mullins continues to lead here, but we do have Ryan Derrick now with some pressure from the high side now, trying to make his way up towards the front. Brandon Pollock getting a little squirrely there behind the 88. That's going to cause them to lose a little bit of momentum up on that high side. And wow, way up the track goes Derrick, almost up into the wall. That's going to allow Kleeman to get clear, and maybe we'll see Kleeman jump up to the high side there. As now we see Jay Mullins and Fry Hubbard getting a little bit of a breakaway off Kleeman. Well, that could actually hurt them quite a bit, as Kleeman's going to be able to get a little bit of a run here, and he might be able to hop up to that high side, but he's going to stay tucked in down below with Daniel Stewart right behind him. So some great racing here at Daytona early. John Schmiel has fallen back a little bit. He's back in the 16th position after cracking the top 10, falling back a little bit. But some other big movers right now. Ryan Huff is up 13 positions, up in the 17th. Justin Miller up 10th in the 18th. Mike Barossa Jr. up 11 spots in the 23rd. So a couple drivers making some big moves through the field. Again, John Schmiel, your biggest mover so far, up 18 positions, up in the 13th. Now Kleeman does make that jump up to the high side. Seeing if he can get a big push. Oh, and yellow flag is out. Michael Swink is around. He's able to get back rolling, and that's going to bring up our first Kinder Farm and Ranch Wreckage Rewind. As we take a look and see what happened to Michael Swink here. Trying to find a good view of this. Take a look here from the blimp. And comes down into the side of the 91. That's Logan Moneth. And the two of them just kind of take a little slide here through the infield. And then as Swing's trying to get back up onto the track, just loops it around, trying to get it straightened back up, catches the wall, and that's enough to bring out the caution, as there must have been cars coming at the time. So tough break for Michael Swink, but that's going to allow our leaders and everybody to come down pit road and get fuel and tires. And here comes the entire field down on the pit road, led by Jamie Mullins. Try to take a look at the entire field coming down the pit road. Take a look at the race off pit road. It's going to be Jamie Mullins, Fry Hubbard, Matt Kleeman, Steve Loving, Ryan Derrick, Charlie Gage Jr., Daniel Stewart gets out as well. So not a whole lot changing up at the front, but a great pit stop from Steve Loving. Oh, Steve Loving may have sped on pit road. That's why he got such a great start out, as he's fallen back now, having to let everybody by. So a tough break for the 27 machine, going through the grass, trying to let everybody by. Staying down on the bottom, though, so he doesn't get that penalty for going on the track too early. So Jamie Mullins, Fry Hubbard, Matt Kleeman, Ryan Derrick, Daniel Stewart, Charlie Gage Jr., Adam Lang, Aaron Mack, Brandon Pollock, and Greg Froelich make up your top 10. So the lights on the pace truck are off. We're going to re-rack them, restack them, and refire them here at Daytona, as Jamie Mullins is going to take that inside line with Fry Hubbard to the outside. And I'm not sure what... That doesn't look like... I know the Xfinity Series has the choose rule in place. I don't think these guys have a choose rule in place here. So only the leader will be able to choose his line coming to the start. So as we get ready here, we're about 5 laps away from halfway when we take the green flag, with Jamie Mullins in the lead, Fry Hubbard to his outside. Pace truck getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn onto pit road. We are back green flag racing here at Daytona, and a great jump from Fry Hubbard on that high side, not able to sneak in behind Jamie like we saw at the beginning of the race. As these trucks roar and get up to speed here, coming through turns 1 and 2. The back of the pack, though, not so lucky, as we see the front of the pack really bunched up, and then they're really spread out throughout the pack. So we'll have to see if anybody's able to move themselves back forward or get some runs here, or if anybody loses the draft here. Because losing the pack here this late in the race, even though I say that it seems like a lot of racing left, these laps do click off real fast from that driver's seat. Losing the draft here would be detrimental, as Fry Hubbard's trying to get that great run back on the high side with a good push from Ryan Derrick, as they come through the short chute side by side for the lead. As they work their way down the backstretch, all bunched up side by side still. Everybody's on fresh tires again, full fuel load. These trucks are not handling the way they want to at the moment as they're trying to get those tires, get some heat in them. We see Fry Hubbard now falling back just a little bit. There will be a truck coming off of pit road as these trucks come on by, so a little lap traffic might bunch up the field here as they work their ways through turns 1 and 2. And down the backstretch. These trucks are back up the full song as Fry Hubbard's trying to get the lead back away from Jamie Mullins. And well, we do a little segment I like to call Pump Up the Intensity. Nothing better than listening to 800 horsepower times 32 trucks go around the track. As Ryan Derrick has now gone up to the lead, Fry Hubbard has gotten around Jamie Mullins and jumped down to that bottom side. Ryan Derrick did just have the lead for a moment as they came across the line. And he's trying to fight back on the high side. We see Charlie Gates Jr. giving that big push again up on that high side. We know, again, Charlie Gates knows how to get around this track, knows how to push around this track. He's doing everything he can. We see a little damage to the rear end of that 88 machine, too. Maybe a push gone wrong early on in the race. Doesn't look like it's slowing him down too much, though. As Ryan Derrick almost clears the 14 of Fry Hubbard. A little further back, John Smeal back up in the 13th. Trying to claw his way back up to the front, but just trying to make the right moves. Just not able to get up there as quickly as he wants. He's got the 61 of Jake Ellenson right behind him, or right below him, I should say, in that corn truck. As Ryan Derrick has now gotten down in front of Fry Hubbard to take over the lead. So Charlie Gates getting him up there to the front. Now can Charlie get some help? Get himself towards the front here and get that top line moving. As the field makes their way into turn number 1. We've seen that 55 truck moving around a little bit more than any other truck out there. He's got some speed, but he's a little bit loose there up on that high side. We see Greg Froelich back there third in line on that high side, having a great run tonight here as he continues to march his way forward and hang around in the top 10. The other driver making his way up through the field is the 19 of Matt Kleeman. So Kleeman trying to get himself back up towards where he started. As we look at the 31, thought he was going to take a look to the inside. That's Aaron Mack. Thought he was going to take a look to the inside of Charlie Gates and make it 3 wide, but thought better of it. It hangs tight right there behind the 55. Greg Froelich right there as well. And as a driver, it's so hard not to take that gap that opens up there when you're running with somebody like that. You see that middle lane, and you just want to jump down there and take it. But as narrow as Daytona is, it's not like Talladega. Talladega, you can easily run 4 or 5 wide. Here at Daytona, 3 wide gets a little bit sketchy. But as we're coming down towards the end of the race, we're going to start seeing some 3 wide racing. I'm sure about that, as when they cross the line this time, we'll have just 25 laps to go. We saw some moving around here towards the back. See Jake Ellison, Jonah Colbert. Jonah trying to make his way back up towards the front. He's having a good run at the moment, trying to push his way back up to the front here. Working that high side, working that low side. We see Steve Loving, who had an end-of-line penalty at the end of the last run, or at the coming off the pit stops there. He's back in the 18th position, continuing to march forward. As the field works their way down the backstretch, and Ryan Derrick continues to lead. Charles Gates Jr. starting to get a little bit of a run here on that high side. That 31, that 15, starting to help him move forward as he almost comes down into the side of Jamie Mullins. Mullins having to take evasive action. That's going to slow down that bottom lane just a little bit. Devin Bacino in the chat says, looks like there's great pace tonight. There is great pace. So far, just one caution. And here comes the 31 down to the bottom, trying to take that position away. Greg Froelich now on the back bumper of Charlie Gates as that top line starts to lose its momentum and really starts to fall back. As, oh, we got one around Greg Froelich. Around on the backstretch. Caution is out. Tough break for Froelich. Looks like, I believe that was John Schmiel also involved in it. It was. As that's going to bring up another Kinder Farm and Ranch Wreckage Rewind. As we take a look to see what happened between Greg Froelich, John Schmiel, and whoever else was involved here. Let's take a look at what happened here as we see, oh, Greg Froelich comes down the track a little bit, almost comes down into Brandon Pollock. Gets out of shape. You can see the tire marks from that truck as he's trying to hold on to it. Taps the left rear of Gates and sends him down into John Schmiel, who was having such a great run with the hard charger. And Greg just takes that long slide down into the safer barrier in there, and fortunately catching the inside wall and not that tire barrier, because we know that tire barrier can actually get you stuck in it or up on top of it, and that can ruin your night quickly. So Ryan Derrick, your leader, as he's probably going to lead everybody back down pit road here for their final pit stop. And that'll put everybody good on gas to the end. And it looks like Derrick's going to stay out, but Bry Hubbard's going to come in. Aaron Mack comes down pit road. Daniel Stewart, Charlie Gates Jr., Tyler Barnett, Jonathan Cofield, Jake Ellenson on pit road, Mike Morcrid, Justin Miller, Ryan Huff, John Smeal, going to get that damage fixed. Steve McDonald, Michael Kosick, Matt Knights, Kenneth Pack, Phil Manzo, Andy Kurtz, Travis Bieber, Brett Bieber. So most of the field coming down pit road here. As we see the 14 of Fry Hubbard already down and away. That makes me wonder if drivers like Ryan Derrick, Jamie Mullins, Matt Kleeman, Brandon Pollock, Adam Lang moving up some positions there with the with that caution and people pitting. How about Mike Pedrosa Jr. currently up 25 positions and currently in line for that Hard Charger Award. Of course, this is the Hardline Transport Solutions Incorporated Truck Series in memory of Matthew Mann. Do have a lot of people who help out with this series as well. Lang Racing Designs, Smeal Race Designs, Shibu Inu Crypto. Also, Peg Leg Felts, P&J Motorsports, Evil Empire SS, the Thunderstruck Super Series, Kinder Farm and Ranch, Smeal Racing Designs, BK Motorsports, and Sabulski Window Tinting. All coming on, a couple new sponsors coming on board this season. The biggest one, of course, being Hardline Transport Solutions as the title sponsor of the Outlaw Series. As we are getting ready, going back green flag racing, we're starting to file up, double file yet again. As they come off of turn number 2, we're going to re-rack them, restack them, and refire them here at Daytona with Ryan Derrick choosing the inside as your leader, Jamie Mullins to the high side. Right behind him, though, Matt Kleeman and Brandon Pollock. We've seen those two doing a great amount of pushing earlier in the season, or earlier in the race here. So we'll see if either one of those will be able to push one of these lead truck drivers up to the front and keep them up there and help themselves in the process. Don't forget to stick around after this one's over, as the original Rebels Truck Series, brought to you by Whole Heating and Air Conditioning, will be going on next. So we got our truck doubleheader back here on Sunday nights. I'm looking forward to calling these doubleheaders here on Sundays for another season of the original Rebels Truck Series. As the Pace truck's getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn on the pit road. And Ryan Derrick's going to lead them back down to the restart zone. And green flags back in the air. We are back to racing here at Daytona, and a great jump from Ryan Derrick. Maybe too much of a good jump. Here comes Jamie Mullins tucking in behind, so that's going to take that jump, advantage of that jump. You don't want to get too far out in front without some help behind you, as we see Brandon Pollock now jumping down to the low side. So it seems like everybody wanting that low side right now on the restart as they make their way through turns 1 and 2. We have just 20 laps to go here at Daytona, and the intensity is going to ramp up as this race goes on. Saw some aggressive moves earlier. Let's see if we continue to see those. Does look like Greg Froelich is back out on track, but he is currently a lap down. And he is hoping for a caution to come out to get his lucky dog and get back on the lead lap to have a chance here. As we see the 34 of Jonah Colbert take the lead. He's going to lead that lap up on that high side. Get a great push from the 66 of Jamie Mullins. I'm sorry, that's not Jamie Mullins. That's the 18 Michael Swink up there on the high side. We saw Michael have some issues earlier in the race getting turned around, and now he's up here challenging for the lead. As the trucks make it through turns 3 and 4 side by side. Ryan Derrick, Jonah Colbert battling for the lead. That time Derrick's going to have him by just a nose as they come across the line. And we see now a second pack back here that has lost the pack. That pack is currently being led by the 64 of Matt Knights. It looks like Matt's got a little bit of damage up on the front of that truck. I don't know if there was an issue on the restart, but heavy damage to the front end of that 64 machine as he leads this second pack. While up front, we still got a side-by-side battle for the lead between Ryan Derrick and Jonah Colbert. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty part of this race. This is the part of the race where people start making some moves that are a little questionable. We might see some trucks getting a little out of shape here as we see a lot of trucks moving around. And you're really seeing what I was talking about earlier by these trucks moving around in the draft. A lot of side-by-side or side-to-side motion between the lines as they kind of snake their way through the field. We see the 70. Todd Schott up into the picture as well. He's currently running 6th. Third truck up on that high lane. As Todd's trying to have a great run here and get himself up to the front. Right now, Ryan Derrick and Jonah Colbert switching the lead lap after lap. See John Schmiel a little further back in this pack, trying to make his way back up to the front. Currently up to 17th. He was running up here the top 10 before he had that incident. Now he's just trying to survive and get himself back up towards the front and have a good points paying day. See Fry Hubbard in that cornflake machine peeking out just a little bit. Thought he was thinking about making it 3 wide for a second, but thought better of it. Now Michael Swink and Jonah Colbert get a great run up on that high side. They almost get clear of Jonah Colbert. So they almost get clear of Ryan Derrick. They're able to, but they stay together up there on that high side, and surprises me that Colbert didn't come down, but it doesn't look like he wants to leave his wingman right now. Oh, yellow flag is out. Big wreck in the back. One truck up and over. Getting hit again in the air. We see Ryan Huff, who we're following now, involved in that 73 machine. Looks like Travis Bieber caught up in... no, it wasn't Travis Bieber. Looks like, oh man, our last year's champion, Andy Kurtz, caught up in this as well. And that's going to bring up another Kinder Farm and Ranch Wreckage Rewind. We take a look and see what happens, and this is what I was talking about. Things are starting to heat up a little bit. And it looks like it may have started back here in front of Phil Manzo. So we'll take a look here and see what happened in front of... oh, Jake Ellingson gets a big bump from behind from John Smeal. Upsets both those trucks. They come sliding down the track. You see the 09, and I believe that's the 64 involved in as well. Manzo makes a great move to get around. Trying to get back to see what happened here. Ellingson Around we see Mike Morkred. Sorry, this is Justin Miller. Gets thrown off the wall right in front of the path of Andy Kurtz, who had no place to go. Let's rewind this a little bit too, so we can see a little bit better what happened with the 09 of Daniel Stewart. I believe that was the 84 involved in this as well. Yep, the 84 of Tyler Barnett. They made contact right there. Go back up across the track. Schmiel doesn't look like he's had too much damage there. See the 73 involved, trying to sneak through. The 56, just barely gets tapped there at the end. He thought he was through it. That's when he gets thrown up into the air. Comes back down across the track. Let's ride along here with Justin and kind of see what he saw, as he was just about through it, but he just barely got tipped. Last second got caught in the rear end and takes a wild ride. There's nothing you can do there. You're just along for the ride as a passenger. So nobody up front came down in pit, so we still have Jonah Colbert, Ryan Derrick, Michael Swink, Jonah Colbert. Ryan Derrick, Michael Swink, Jamie Mullins, Todd Schott, Matt Kleeman, Eric Burkhalter, Brandon Pollack, Adam Lang, and Steve Loving making up your top 10. Kevin Kinder says that was wild. Kevin, that was a wild one right there for sure. But that's what to expect here at Daytona, especially in these closing laps. So the lights on the pace truck are off. And looks like Colbert's going to jump to the high side for the restart. So Jonah and Michael Swink are working so well before, but now he's going to give up Michael Swink here to get a push from Jamie Mullins. So we'll see how that works out here. But with a lot of racing left to go here, so we're going to have about 11 laps when we go back green flag racing. I wouldn't be surprised to see a couple drivers maybe force it 3 wide here to try to make up some positions towards the end. We'll see as the pace truck's getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn on the pit road. The field comes down to the restart zone. Jonah Colbert up on the high side is your control truck. Green flag is back in the air. We are back racing at Daytona. Just 11 laps to go. And a great restart for Ryan Derrick, able to stay side by side with Jonah Colbert, but Derrick just doesn't have the help from behind like Colbert does right now, as Jamie Mullins is giving the big shove to that 34 machine. But now Derrick getting a big push from Swink down the backstretch. They've got the 70 of Todd Schott right there behind him as well as that bottom lane. Really starting to get the momentum going as they come down into turn number 3. So give it to the energy down to the bottom lane. Here comes the 71 of Eric Burkhalter on the bottom as well. Trying to help out that front group. That high lane trying to get formed up, but just not able to quite as quickly and as well as that bottom group. Oh, one truck, the 31, Aaron Mack down to the apron, comes back up. 10 laps to go here at Daytona. Jonah Colbert now was just solidly out in front of Ryan Derrick. Derrick, though, getting the momentum back on that low side to retake the lead as they come down into the backstretch. Side by side, back for the lead. Swink doing everything he can, trying not to hook the 88, but to give him big enough push to get him up there towards the front. Brandon Pollock in that one up on the high side. He's trying to get himself back up towards the front as well. Now we're starting to see two distinct groups breaking up as well. As that second group back there is starting to race a little harder back there, got out of shape. And they've fallen away from the lead pack by quite a bit. As now Derrick takes the lead. Oh, gets a little squirrely off the front bumper of Swink. Gets on the apron. That's going to allow Colbert to retake the lead. And Jamie Mullins both are going to be clear of Derrick as they come into turn number 3. But they're not going to slide down there. They're going to stay up there with Kleeman. As that high side looks like it's a little better formed up right now. Derrick's got the run off the corner, but down the straightaways, that high lane is making hay when the sun's shining right now. As Jonah Colbert's going to lead that lap by about a half a truck length. Ryan Derrick, though, trying to fight back on the low side with Michael Swink down there. Just 8 laps to go here. Intensity is starting to ramp up. You see Michael Swink. Oh, well, Michael Swink almost just got into the 88. I thought he was going to turn him for a second. He kind of caught him in a bad way, but able to keep it going. No harm, no foul as the top line starts to get that momentum. A little side drafting now from that bottom lane, trying to pull the air off the spoiler. With the side draft, you can actually take and dump a bunch of air onto the spoiler of the truck beside you to slow them down. And we just saw that right there for a moment, as now that bottom lane's getting the push forward because that top lane got pulled back just a little bit. Again, these trucks pushing such a big hole in the air, you're starting to see just how strong that draft effect is, as now Jonah Colbert and Jamie Mullins have both cleared. One truck goes off track a little ways back. Tyler Barnick went off track, came back on track. And Jamie Mullins now to the lead. He said, I got sick of pushing Jonah right there. He wants to take the lead for himself, and he tries. Now Matt Kleeman trying to push Colbert up to the front. And when we cross the line this time, we'll have just 5 laps to go in the Hardline Transportation Outlaw Truck Series. See one truck going on pit road, trying to stay out of the way of the leaders. The leaders cross the line here. 5 laps to go at Daytona, as Jamie Mullins continues to lead, but hard fought on the outside by Jonah Colbert. Now we're going to see a truck a little further back. Somebody like Todd Schott up on that high side. I'm sorry, Todd Schott's down on the bottom. Someone like Steve Loving up on the high side. We see the 8 of Adam Lang. Could one of them make a move here to go up to the high side? Try to make it 3 wide. Oh, we got an incident in the back. Josh, oh, we got a truck around up front. Colbert around. Big one as Colbert up on his roof. Yellow is out. Adam Lang involved as well. Andy Kurtz gets through it. Michael Swink caught up in it as well. We see Jake Ellenson coming down pit road. Heavy damage to that machine. Eddie Smith caught up in this. Greg Barnett with lots of damage. That's going to bring up another Kinder Farm and Ranch Wreckage Rewind. As we take a look to see what happened here. We see Michael Swick. Oh, the bad push on Jonah Colbert. Gets him up into the wall. Bounces down into Brandon Pollock. Pollock comes down into Swink. Swink comes right across track. Hits Kleeman, who thought he was clearing through it. And everybody scatters. We see the 37 goes sliding down the inside. Colbert up on his top, up over. Believe that was Travis Bieber in that Valvoline machine, if I'm not mistaken. The 114. Yep, Travis Bieber. And then you see Greg Froelich sneaking through here, trying to get Woe down. Able to pull down pit road to avoid the incident. We see the 3. Adam Lang through the grass there. We saw the 3 of Michael Kosick getting getting hit again a couple more times. And oh, the 38 backs up into the side of Michael Swink. So that's gonna change everything up here at the front. As Jamie Mullins will be your leader. Garrett Kinder says, "Wow, wow is right." That is also going to set ourselves up for a green-white checker. Don't forget to stick around after this one's done, as we will have the Rebels Truck Series right after this. Another 60-lap race here at Daytona. And of course, we wouldn't be racing here tonight without our great sponsors. Hardline Transport Solutions sponsoring the Outlaw Truck Series, fueled by the memory of Matthew Mann. Also some great spot helping out with sponsorship. Lang Racing Designs, Smeal Race Designs, Shibu Inu Crypto, Peg Leg Felts, P&J Motorsports, Evil Empire, Thunderstruck Super Series, Kinder Farm and Ranch, Smeal Racing Designs, BK Motorsports, and Sabuski Window Tinting. Sorry if I'm saying that wrong. If I am, just let me know. But the lights on the pace truck are off. On one lap, we'll go back green flag racing for our first attempt at a green-white checkered. And right now, I'm going to go ahead and throw out that P&J Motorsports Hard Luck Award. I'm going to have to give it to the driver of the 34, Jonah Colbert, who is battling for the lead, and his night has ended due to that incident that just took place. So, tough break and hard luck for Jonah Colbert. As the lights on the pace truck are back on, it looks like we might have had an incident under yellow that caused the field. Let's see if we can see what happened here under yellow. Oh, 64 Matt Knights got turned around under caution here. And I believe that's what re-triggered the pace truck. So now the lights are going to go off this time. And we'll try it again. As they come down the backstretch here and we get ready for our first attempt at a green-white checker. Jamie Mullins brings them back to the restart zone with Ryan Derrick to the outside. Todd Schott now in a position to maybe steal the win here back in third, and Brandon Pollock up on the high side. Eric Burkhalter, Fry Hubbard hanging tight in that sixth position. Mike Bertosa Jr. up 27 spots in the seventh. Aaron Mack, Brett Bieber, Logan Moneth make up your top 10 as the pace truck takes that hard left-hand turn. Green flag is back in the air. We are back racing at Daytona. Just 2 laps to go here. Great jump for both Jamie Mullins and Todd Schott as Ryan Derrick's going to tuck down into that bottom lane. Sees that's where the momentum is right now, so he's going to take it. Eric Burkhalter right behind. And now Todd Schott making a big move up to the high side, trying to get around Mullins. Getting a push from Burkhalter up on that high side. Here comes Derrick and Mullins on the bottom side. Right now, that bottom lane with the momentum as Todd Schott trying to get the momentum back up on that high side here as they come across the stripe. White flag is in the air. 1 lap to go here, no matter what happens, wreck or not. We're going to keep rolling here as Jamie Mullins up to the lead with Ryan Derrick and Brandon Pollock right behind him. Todd Schott trying to get something going from behind. We got 3 wide racing in the back of the pack. As they come down the backstretch, side by side, Todd Schott starting to get a little bit of a run here. He's up to the outside of Ryan Derrick as they come into turn number 3. We got a wreck in the back, but it doesn't matter as Todd Schott now gets the momentum here through turn 3 and 4. Here comes Burkhalter with the push up on that high side. Does he have anything? Mullins falling back just a little bit. Todd Schott up on the high side, getting the push from Burkhalter to the stripe. Todd Schott is going to be your winner here at Daytona in the first race of the Outlaw Series. Jamie Mullins comes home second. Eric Burkhalter in third, and what a wild last lap as there was lots of carnage towards the back of the field. Let's see if we can see what happened a little further back. So Eddie Smith get bumped here. Yeah, 3 wide racing, a big wreck here towards the back. Everybody comes piling in on that one. Greg Froenig up and over on his roof. And then coming to the checker flag. Yep, this is just all the same incident here. But it's all about this man right here. Your winner tonight, Todd Schott, coming home with the win. And of course, as always, the Demolition Derby ensues after the winner got his burnouts going. Todd Shot's going to park it right there on the front stretch. And he continues to burn out here as we take a look at your results. Of course, your results and our interviews will be brought to you by Thunderstruck. Well, let me get that off the way so we can at least take a look at our results here. So your winner, Todd Schott, Jamie Mullins, Eric Burkhalter, Ryan Derrick, Fry Hubbard round out your top 5. Logan Moneth, Brandon Pollock, Kenneth Pack, Aaron Mack, and Mike Barossa with the top 10. Steve Loving, Matt Knight, Adam Lang, Matt Kleeman, Jake Allenson, Steve McDonald, Andy Kurtz, Jonathan Cofield, Charlie Gates Jr., Phil the Hitman Manzo. Round out your top 20. And the rest of the field is right there on the board for you. Brett Bieber comes home 21st. John Smeal, Eddie Smith, Daniel Stewart, Travis Bieber, your top 25. Greg Barnett, Michael Kosick, Greg Froenick, Michael Swink, Mike Morcrid, Ryan Huff, Tyler Barnett, Jonah Colbert, and Justin Miller are your complete finishing order here tonight. So we wait for our top 3 to come up into the booth so we can get your post-race interview brought to you by Thunderstruck. Thunderstruck Super Series sponsors your post-race interviews here tonight. As we sit here and wait for our top 3. Oh, I do apologize for the wait as our trying to get these guys up into the waiting room. There we go. Let's bring in our third place finisher, Eric Burkhalter. Eric, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me? Oh, Eric, you got Josh up in the booth. You got a copy?
Gotcha.
Hey, there you are, man. What a wild finish to the race there. Running in the mid to back most of the race. Able to get yourself back up to the front. Was it a little bit of strategy that got you up there, or was it the wreck that happened in front of you towards the end there? Bring out that green-white checker.
A lot of strategy tonight. Myself, Todd, I was glad to push him to the front, but me and Todd and Eddie and Jonah just kind of rode forever, it seemed like, in the back. And we did get that caution, everybody pit, so we stayed out. Knew we'd make it on fuel, and was able to gain a lot. And it was just go time after that.
For sure, and you said the strategy. I know super speedway racing really is very teammate dependent and who you can work with, and it looked like the trucks are moving around a little bit more than they had been in previous seasons. Did you kind of feel that as well? The trucks not quite as stable in the pack.
I don't know. There was a lot of movement. I don't know if what the deal was. It felt okay to me. I did have to go up on my steering ratio a little and stuff to adjust from driving the cup cars last night, but I'm not sure. There was a lot of guys struggling keeping it straight tonight.
Well, great job tonight here, coming home in third place. Anybody you got to thank? Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go tonight?
Yeah, Team Dingling. Todd shot. Jonah Colbert, unfortunate for him, he was in a position to win it. Eddie Smith and Chris McLean, which wasn't able to make the race tonight, but and those guys have taught me a lot and wouldn't be where I'm at without them.
Well, Eric, again, congratulations on the top three tonight, and I'm sure we'll talk to you again as the season goes on.
Thanks, bud. Hope to.
So that's your third place finisher, Eric Burkhalter. Let's bring in Jamie Mullins, your second place finisher. Jamie, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
I do, sir. How you doing tonight?
Man, I'm doing well. How about yourself? You had a great run there towards the end, pushing Todd Schott up towards the front. You guys up towards the front all night long, just never able to get in a real good position there towards that middle of the race. How'd the strategy play out for you tonight, and did you have a strategy coming in at all to try to get up there towards the front?
Well, the strategy that I had to begin with was not to qualify, but then I changed my mind. I don't know what. I was like, I'm gonna do something different. So I qualified and I started 10th, and I was like, well, maybe I can stay up here for a little while and see what happens. Next thing I know, I'm getting shot to the front, and I'm like, well, I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing because I'm using more fuel than everybody behind me. But it seemed to work out the way that I wanted it to. Well, minus the win. Congratulations to Todd there. He got me there at the end. I knew the run was coming. There was nothing I could really do about it. I was up front, so I was just there. But I'm really happy to get out of Daytona with a top five.
For sure, Daytona's one of those tracks. It seems like you could either be top five or bottom five pretty quickly here. Um, the racing seemed really aggressive, but the at the same time very calm for an opening race. Being up front, I'm sure you didn't see too much of the storm, but it must have felt good to be up away from that big mess behind you.
It did feel good, but also nervous at the same time because in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, okay, hopefully I don't get taken out in the lead. I think a lot of it had to do with, we had a long off season and we were ready to go, and we were kind of taking it easy at first, seeing how this was going to play out because it seems like at the beginning of a race there's typically a caution or two, then you have a long green flag run in the middle, and then a few at the end, which is kind of like how it played out, except for that we didn't get the early caution. But overall, I'm happy with the results. Great time. I can leave out of this lobby with a smile on my face, and to me, that's as good as a win.
Absolutely. Well, before I let you go, anyone you want to thank? Any shots you got to give here tonight?
Oh yeah! First off, thank you for what you do for this league. I really appreciate it, and I can't wait to go back and watch the broadcast. Hardline Transport Solutions, of course, series sponsor for it. Dang Lang Racing Designs, he designed my truck for me. Adam Lang did, so I'm gonna give him credit. The 88 truck, he pushed me as hard as he could. I gotta thank him. Intensity Broadcasting, Peg Leg Felts, P&J Motorsports, Thunderstruck Super Series, Kinder Farm and Ranch, all those guys to what makes the series what it is. And I'm really blessed to be able to race in this series around a bunch of great competitors.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congratulations on the second place finish, and I'm sure we'll talk to you again later on in the season for sure.
All right, thank you, sir.
So there you have it, your second place finisher, Jamie Mullins. Let's bring in the winner tonight, Todd Schott. Todd, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir.
Man, congratulations on the win here at Daytona. First race of the season. Feels good to get that one under the belt, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, it sure does.
Man, the racing out there was kind of insane, and you were kind of running mid pack to backpack most of the race, but made your way up to the front. Did that caution, that big wreck that took out Jonah Colbert, that kind of help the momentum get back up to the front, or were you just kind of hanging back there to avoid the mess to make your way up to the front later on in the race?
Yeah, that changed everything. Jonah was in a good position right there. After that wreck, it put me in a really good spot. And when I first pulled out to make that move, we just kind of fell like a rock. I was thinking, oh crap, this over with. But my teammate Eric got behind me and he shoved me right on back up there.
For sure, and that's kind of what you need here at Daytona. Well, Daytona and Talladega, you need those teammates to help you get up there towards the front, and it kind of worked out for you there tonight. So congratulations on the win. Anybody you want to thank? Any shout outs you got to give before we let you go tonight here?
I just want to thank all the sponsors and y'all for doing the broadcasting, and thank all my teammates over there with Jonah and Eddie and Eric. Team Dingling got it up there on the front.
Well, awesome, man. Again, congrats on the win, and I'm sure as the season goes on, we'll be talking again soon.
I hope so.
Have a great night.
You too.
There you have it, your winner, Todd Schott, here in the Hardline Transport Solutions Outlaw Truck Series, fueled by the memory of Matt Mann. We got another one coming up here in just a few moments as we reset here. I do want to shout out Mike Bertosa Jr. He is your Evil Empire. I'm sorry, the Evil Empire Sim Sport Hard Charger for tonight. And as we go on through the season, we'll make sure to give out these awards as they come. Join us again in just a few minutes as the Truck Series, the Rebels Truck Series, takes on Daytona for 60 laps. My name's Josh Hall. Stick around.